I was just at a train show and bought all of this stuff for only $85, and today I'm going to go through all of these individual pieces. I'm going to go through all the things in these Walthers boxes first, and I will say one of these I've already started working on, but for this whole project that is no biggie. I will open this up, and in here, it's an entire BART set. I am not done assembling this car. I've just been building this one for practice, but this set comes with 2 powered units and 2 mid-train cars. You can see the end of the boxes right here. Here's a powered car. This one, or no, this one up here was a dummy car that I just showed you. This is a power car. This is a dummy car. And then down here, this is another dummy car. Aside from the one that I'm building off camera, I'm going to build 2 of these at least as samples. I want to at least film a video where I build 2 of these and end up making this entire train. So we'll see if I actually decide to do that. If so, you'll see it in the future. This is something I'd love to get done very soon because this would be a very cool consist to own, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do that yet. Before we go into some more of the actual trains, how about we go into something HO scale that's not trains? I bought a bunch of these 1/87 scale cars as I was just leaving because I noticed the NASCARs. As you probably saw if you saw most of my video where I go through all my locomotives, I mentioned that I'm a pretty big NASCAR fan, and as I was leaving, I saw a little bin with these 1/87 scale cars, and I spotted these 3 Casey Kane cars. And I've always liked Casey Kane, so I could not pass these up and had to buy all 3. And since I didn't just want to spend $3, I decided to pick out 2 more, which also, ironically, happen to be Dodge products. This is a Viper, as a lot of people know. Vipers are really popular cars. I think they're pretty cool. And then to complete the NASCAR theme, here's a Plymouth Superbird. I don't know how many of you care about cars. I thought these things were kind of neat, so I picked them up. Excluding the BART, I bought a total of 7 locomotives. 4 of these claim to not run, and 3 of them do claim to run. We'll go through the ones that claim not to run first, and there's some really good deals hidden in here if I can fix these things up. First of which is this brass 060. I have no clue who exactly made this thing. It doesn't say on the bottom or anything, so if anyone knows, that would be great. But this thing looks really nice. It's probably one of the nicer 060s I've seen. I know it's not the highest quality brass in the world, but I still think this is a really nice model. Something I have noticed is this bell looks like it's kind of stuck in this awkward position, and the front, I think, smoke box, spoiler box, whatever this thing on the front is called, please let me know, is crooked, so I need to fix that at some point. But I don't know, we'll see if this thing actually runs or not, but it's brass, so if it doesn't run, it might be a little bit of a finicky project to work on. And I forgot to mention, that 060 was only $5 as it was broken before I got the discount that I got, as with all these broken engines. And now next up, we have not 1, but 2 Intermountain F7s that claim not to run. Both of these are in a Black Widow paint scheme. I'm not going to take these things too far out, but these things look to be almost brand new. I think the radiators on these things, I think these are radiators, whatever these vents are, they're a little bit warped, which is fine by me. They look to already have Katie's, and I believe these things might be DCC ready, so if possible, I could probably just throw in a decoder if I get these things fixed. And the last of the trains I bought that claim to be broken is this, I believe, Rivarossi GG1. Again, this was a $5 engine before discounts, and this thing actually looks really nice. I took it out earlier. I did not test run this one or anything yet, and I actually found a slip that says this thing was repaired in 1973. So I don't know if the repairs have held up, what Rivarossi actually did to this thing, but this engine looks really nice for what it is. So if I can get this thing to run, it'll be a really neat piece to have. I don't think this will be a candidate for DCC, but it's still a cool model nonetheless. Continuing with some more Bay Area transit, such as the BART, these 2 engines, if you can call them that, are some pieces I've been hunting for quite a long time. We have not 1, but 2 Boeing San Francisco Muni AHM trolleys. These things are really cool. I've been searching for these things for far too long. These ones claim to work, so they were $10 each, again, before I got a discount, which made these things really cheap, but online people want absurd prices for these things that I would never pay. I bought 2 just in case one turns out to be a dud, and if they both work, maybe I can modify one, maybe put in a new motor, and eventually we could, again, try and put DCC in one of these things. It would be really neat to have running around a layout that's Bay Area based. And this final unit is also a model I've wanted for a very long time. This is a Caltrain Athearn F59 PHI. This is actually a fictional paint scheme. These did not exist on Caltrain's lines. They had MP36s in this paint scheme, not F59 PHIs. The only thing around here that did was Amtrak California. This engine claims to run and was 25 bucks before I got a discount. So this thing is an insane deal. This one should be DCC ready. It does have, I believe, Easy Mates on it, so those will need to be swapped to Katie's at some point. But I'd be surprised if this thing doesn't run. It's pretty hefty, and now I think I need to get some cars for this thing to pull in the future. Now that we've gone through all the engines that claim to, in theory, run, or in theory, not run, it's time to test them out and see if their claims are true. First up is the GG1. I'll give this thing probably about 70% power. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a headlight on and it's doing nothing. Give it a little wiggle. Well, clearly it's trying to run. Seems to be making a weird noise if I try and run it that way, and it feels really weak. We'll try it the other way once more. And this thing seems like it's sparking to life, so it does seem to run to some extent, but I'm not sure how reliable of an engine this will be, so it still probably needs quite a bit of work. Next up is the Brass 060. Since this thing is brass, I'm expecting it to be a bit finicky, especially since it claims to be broken, but we shall see. And evidently that one started right up. Doesn't look like it has a headlight. I didn't actually check if it was installed with the headlight, so it could also just not have one at all. But this thing seems to run pretty well. I might put DCC in this one at some point. I don't know if I'll keep the original motor, replace it, upgrade the magnets, what, but I would like this thing to have a decoder in it because this is a really nice model. Alright, the next one that claims to be broken is the first of the two Intermountain F7s, so I'll give this thing some power. And that doesn't sound very healthy, but it's clearly functional. So something tells me at least some bearing or something in this thing, probably a motor bearing, is going to need a little bit of fresh oil. So I'm assuming these things probably haven't been run, or they've just been sitting for years. So just a little bit of a tune-up will probably make these things perfect. I say these things without even having tested the second one. Let's see if the second one's the same, or if this one's actually broken. That actually sounds a lot quieter. Let's bring it back forward. This one sounds really good. A little bit of oil might help. It does sound a little bit dry and nowhere near as bad as the other one, but this one's probably just good to go as is. Next is the first of the two Muni trolleys. I think one of these claimed to run better than the other one, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll go with this one first. And that one actually sounds really quiet for one of these old AHMs. I think that one's just about perfect. I don't think there's anything this one needs. It runs great. Now, here's the second one. When I was taking this one out of the package, a light bulb and a screw fell out, so that doesn't seem like a very promising sign. So we'll see if this one works or if it's broken. It would help if I had it set up on the track properly. We'll try that one more time. See if this time it wants to fire up. And yeah, now it wants to move. Helps if you put the powered truck on the track. This one's just a little bit louder than the other one, so a little bit of fresh oil might help. And as expected, this one doesn't have any functional light bulb. One of these things I want to upgrade the motor to a much newer motor, see if I can put a decoder in, as I mentioned earlier, which might be silly, but I think it would be a fun future idea. And now let's see if we can go 7 for 7 on working locomotives with this Caltrain F59 PHI. I'll honestly be shocked if this one does not start. And that one runs great. It sounds like it might have a slight gear crack. It's just clicking a tiny bit. The headlights also don't work, and since this thing's DCC ready, it might have to do with that. So a decoder will probably fix that, which I guess means I've got to put a decoder in this one as well. So most of these things will be pretty fun projects. They don't need a ton of work. I was expecting a lot more, but I guess that's good for me since I've got so many projects already.